Tom, Colin Kaepernick, not in the NFL. He has now filed a formal grievance against the owners, accusing them of collusion for keeping him from working in the league. Let's go to Monique Pressley. She's legal analyst and principal with the Pressley firm. She joins me here in D.C. Monique, what is interesting about this is he's hired Mark Garagos, the attorney, to represent him. Some say that part of this is he wants to challenge the collective bargaining agreement between the NFL and the players. I mean, talk about taking this thing to another level. Now you're talking about collusion. That's a whole, we saw this in baseball years ago where the players were able to prove that the owners did collude against the players to keep salaries lower.
Well, I was having a conversation with someone who consults with the NFL a couple of weeks ago, and one thing was very clear to me. It wasn't that Colin was being silent during this period. They were doing their due diligence, and one of the things that's pointed out in the claims that have been filed in the grievance, and one of the things that was pointed out in Mark Garagos' press statement, is they are only filing this after trying in earnest with each and every team in the NFL doing outreach, because now that they've done their homework, they can say there is not a single team in the NFL that was willing to sign this man, and that's how you make a case for collusion. And
what Mark Garagos said, they're filing this, quote, only after pursuing every possible avenue with all NFL teams and their executives.
That's right.
And so as opposed to what we heard all this time, first of all, we heard the NFL teams lying, flat out lying by saying, oh, we're not sure if he still has the desire. We don't know. It'd be great if he would just come out and do an interview, when all they had to do was call him and ask. And in fact, the teams would not even bring him in for a workout. The only team that did was the Seattle Seahawks, who talked about the possibility. Baltimore was thinking about it, but no other team. And then you had people like Tom Coughlin in Jacksonville, absolutely not. And then I'm not going to talk about giving him a shot when his quarterbacks suck.
Right, and even early on during the free agency period, there were teams that wouldn't give a reason why they weren't willing to consider him. And another thing that they've been doing for a long time with professional athletes is when they decide they don't want to sign you, they try to make you crazy. They try to make you the one who has a problem. They say that you're hard to work with, et cetera, et cetera. And we saw all of those excuses here. But finally, with him hiring Garagos, that's a signal. I'm not playing with this. He could have just gone with the NFL Players Association.
And the players union, they are supporting it.
Why did he not go with the Players Association? What does that mean when he went outside of the Players Association?
Well, they will still be there to assist, and I think that they've released a statement to that effect. But if you can afford to have the quality of lawyering that he's chosen to get to head the team, and you still get undergirded by the Players Association, then that's the best of both worlds, and they still will help and represent him.
From a legal standpoint, when you have John Mara, the owner of the New York Giants, who has said publicly he would not hire him. When you have the Denver Broncos, who have said they would not hire him under any circumstances, that's owners saying, forget talent, forget production, we will not hire you, and it's only because of, obviously, his First Amendment decision. Does that strengthen his case?
Yes, but what makes it even better is that they've asked for expedited assignment of an arbitrator and expedited discovery. So these
now, what does
owners,
that mean? What does that mean?
These owners who said that are going to have to come into a deposition, swear under oath, and provide emails, phone records for whoever they may have been talking to, such as other owners and perhaps the United States government, that led to them making these decisions. And it will all be under oath, under penalty of perjury.
Monique, I don't know if you can address this question or not, but can you tell Tom Joyner that this does not mean that we give up our boycott of NFL games right now?
Oh, no. This just means that we have one soldier who's still doing what he needs to do in order to advocate for his rights. But we need to be advocating for the rights of all players who are similarly situated. This problem is much bigger than this one man.
And again,
so continue to boycott?
Yes.
Yes, Tom.
What did you hear?
Continue to boycott.
It wasn't,
Are you
the response
boycotting,
wasn't
Tom?
clear.
He's kind of one eye on, one eye off, Monique Pressley, to be honest with you.
Now, going through this, he needs, with the depositions, he needs to find that there was evidence where the teams, for collusion, that means the teams communicated and said, together we're not going to do this.
It either needs to be found through direct evidence or it can be implied, and that's what they say in the papers, that it's either they have to show it directly through, some, we can forget about the team owners getting together in some big meeting and saying, keep him out. But we can show through repeated contacts with some of them, through excuses from others of them, that there's really no other good reason that this has happened but for the fact that there was a decision underneath. The same way every other insidious racism thing happens, they made a decision under the covers not to let this man back into what they consider to be their league.
So, Roland, will he get a job now?
No.
He still won't get a job.
No. It's abundant. No. They have made a clear decision. It is undeniable. And I can that he is not going to play. The San Francisco 49ers, who said that if he did not opt out of his contract, they were going to cut him. They just demoted the guy who they replaced him with, Brian Hoyer, who sucked for the Texans, who sucked for the Chicago Bears, who sucks. But he was hired and was the starter. He just got demoted. The Cleveland Browns, who my Texans destroyed yesterday, suck. They had Kaiser, a rookie who was starting, demoted him. His replacement sucks. They are 0-6. You can go to the New York Jets.
Relax.
Hey, that's right, Arsenio. I forgot about your Browns. The New York Jets. So what you have here is you have numerous players who are horrible, and these teams are saying, we're not even going to consider you. In fact, the Texans had a tryout a couple of weeks ago. They brought in some dude who hadn't played in 5 years and gave him a tryout. Monique, they won't even give Kaepernick a tryout.
But one of the things that can happen under the arbitration, which is why they're starting here and not in the court system, is that one of these owners could break ranks. Instead of opening up their files and sitting down for this deposition, we'll see how hot it gets. Somebody could still give him a shot, or the arbitrator, through agreement as they negotiate, could be working with the teams. We'll see how far it goes. But there is
so basically, hold on. So what you're saying here is that if an owner goes, oh crap, I got some stuff here where I sent an email or a text, damn it, y'all better give him a tryout just to cover my behind.
Right. What can we do by way of specific performance, which is something you could never get in an employment situation in the courts. You can get a job out of an arbitration proceeding. Do I think it'll happen here? Not likely, but that is one of the things that could still be on a table as part of a nice, healthy package, if I know Gyarados.
What about the Green Bay Packers that's owned by the citizens of Wisconsin?
The Packers are a publicly traded company.
Yes. And that means through their leadership, they're responsible to the citizens, not to a
shareholder
owner. Yes.
So if the Packers say, oh no, we're not even going to consider him, that's a publicly traded company.
Right.
He could go after them differently than when the other owners who say we're private.
Yes, as D. Ray would say at this point, watch whiteness work. We will see what they all get together and decide to do.
Pressley,
they have every option.
Quoted the famous poet D. Ray Davis.
By power.
That's my lawyer. Go quote D. Ray Davis.
Actually, she was quoting D. quoting D. Ray McKesson. But y'all think it's D. Ray Davis. All right.
Weekdays on TV One.
I will never lie to you.
Oh my God.
Roland Martin.
He doesn't want to talk to us. He wants to ignore us.
Uncensored.
Hell no. That ain't gonna cut it, boo.
Unapologetic.
No, that is fundamentally false. You are wrong.
Unfiltered.
He wants an America where we all look alike. He ain't talking about black people.
Unrelenting.
You better go work out, because you got a fight on your hands.
NewsOne Now with Roland Martin. Weekdays at 7 a.m. on TV One.